Hi, it's Jezabel. I'm just about 5 minutes late calling in. Sorry about that.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing real good, and thank you for calling in all the way from the West Coast.
Where am I calling, by the way?
What's that?
Where am I calling? If I'm on the West Coast, where are you?
Oh, I'm on the East Coast.
Oh, well, shit. So you're kind of like midnight hours.
Yeah, it's 12:06 a.m. as of right now.
Oh, well, sorry I'm late, but happy midnight to everybody.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate you calling in. Planning to discuss, so let's just go ahead and get started. Um, Talk a little bit about yourself and how did your wrestling career got started?
Okay, well, let's see. I'm actually a late bloomer. I started when I was 30 years old, and I basically got hired at Exeter with us, but there's rumors of flying everywhere. And I started out as a receptionist and slowly made my way into the ring. So,
Well, that's interesting because you know how normally wrestlers start off in their 20s and maybe teenage years, and yet you started in your 30s. Was it wrestling something you considered doing when you was in your 20s?
well, actually, growing up, I was supposed to, if I was a boy, my dad was going to name me Cassius Liston, and so I kind of grew up with the boxing vibe around me. But, every Saturday night I would watch WWF. I don't really watch too much WWE. And I just watched it my whole life, but I never really considered actually doing it. And then, like I said, I started Extreme Pro Wrestling, and one thing kind of led to another, and I kind of re-blossomed and found my love for it again, and, here I am now. Started there and kind of worked my way through the indie circuit, and I do more manicure, ballet type stuff. And then on the side, I'm a fantasy wrestling girl for Lucha Girls Wrestling, which I own with my husband Chaos.
You know what they say, better late than never. And
I've always been a late bloomer.
There you go. I want to talk about Santina Brothers real quick. Talk a little bit about that and your involvement with them.
Okay, well, Santino Brothers was started with Mongol, which is Tony Ramos, also known as Mongol Santino, and my husband, Tony Chaos, Superstar Chaos. And basically, this was one of their good friends, Dynamite D, God bless his soul, passed away. And his last words to them were, keep staying alive. So what's better tribute than having a wrestling still? And, so Santino Brothers came about. And we kept the name Santino Brothers because that's the name that Joey and Mongo uses for the tag team. So, everything just kind of happened all at once. And, we started off in the backyard in Norwalk. We weren't backyarders. And, so, we started off and eventually we made our way to Bell Garden. And that's where we are now. We're in a physically with my fixing ring grassing now. And it's small, it's humble, but we have the Valor Brothers training here, Los Luchas, Los Chivos training here, and, we have IWL, NWA, or formerly NWA. And, it's like we just try to be a gym that welcomes any and all the rest of anybody who's passionate about this.
All right. So, and was it like being there, training alongside with the rest of the wrestlers, just to see them work and blossom into the wrestlers that they are?
Well, I love it. Because, I do even here at the school, and I'm the school nurse, the addition, mom and secretary to a lot of them, since they are a lot, roughly about 20 years. I love when they come in, and the first thing I look for is, are they passionate? If they're not passionate, then I'll suggest any other school for you to go to, but we only want passionate players. Our basic goal is, to success your dreamer, take from a strong wrestler. And, we just try to teach everybody the traditional, not too much of the new age way, but more the traditional. Respect this business, shake everybody's hand, whether it's a toilet washer or whether it's Vince McMahon. You shake everyone's hand and you just have respect for this business. So, that's like the main thing we look for in students. So we've had some great come out of it. And, we have Ray Rosa's King of C, Thunder Kitty, who she's one of my most awesome little girls in the world. She went out there and she's living now in Indiana. And she's working a little bit everywhere. So that's my main goal is to see these guys out there and see them passionate and just giving all to this business, blood, sweat, and tears, and then some.
I recently interviewed Thunder Kitty about a month or two ago, and I love Thunder Kitty. I love her passion and her wrestling attire is very intriguing. You know,
Isn't it cool? I love it.
yeah, it's paying homage to the women wrestlers back in the day, and she's tough as nails. No
God,
doubt
yeah.
about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, she's hanging bang with all the boys, and she's never back down. And that's the girl who I could honestly say there's a lot of girl wrestlers out here, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but you can tell some of them aren't passionate about this business. They're just like, oh, I want to be a wrestler. And you know what? She goes out there, she gives it her all, and she to me is a true female pro wrestler. Put her up there, with some of the greats, and that's where I see her go.
All right, and let's talk about Lucha Girls, which is a custom woman wrestling website. Um, I know there's plenty of custom wrestling websites such as Slimming Ladies and Magnificent Ladies Wrestling and New England Female Wrestling, but that's mostly on the East Coast or on the South. You on the
Right.
West Coast, and you're a wrestler yourself, and that's not a whole lot of people. That's not any wrestlers that can say they have their own wrestling company. When people get to book matches and stuff, you being a wrestler, what made you decide to put together Lucha Girls?
Well, I love wrestling, but you kind of know your role things, and that's something that I've taken from this traditional age of, kind of like what Johnny Valentine said, I can't make you believe wrestling's real, but I sure enough can make you believe I am. And, on the pro circuit, I excel at being a manager. I'm a great manager, but I'm not a great wrestler. But in the fantasy customs world of wrestling, it's, we're this style of wrestling or that style. Basically, we're good entertainment for guys. We're sexy wrestlers. It's like we go out there, we small matches, and granted, they're not going to be five-star. You're never going to see, like a good explosion match on, but we have fun. And it's like we have to go with the real realism of, like guys aren't watching it for our pro abilities. Guys are watching it, for whatever reason. I'm not going to get too graphic here, but it's like it's get off material. And a lot of it is I have fun. It's like it's good money. On the pro circuit, girls don't get paid a lot, but we make more money and I make a living out of it. And I started Lucha Girls because I do have a DJ here, and I have the guys who could be our victims for us, if that's what they're generally called. And it's like, and then we have the girls, and we get trained the girls who are out here who want to make a living out of it and want to do it. And it's like when we offer free training to them, they could come down, do content exchanges, and it's a safe place where they're not going to get harassed and be like, oh yeah, you're not a real wrestler. It's just, it's all in fun. I have a clip store that, we put all our videos up, and, my husband helps me with it. And we're trying to get more of the pro wrestling aspect of it, and not so much of the fetish type. We do belly pushing matches, cross matches, but we're not going to get too deep into the fetish type of stuff. It's a way to have fun, and it's a way for girls to still learn how to wrestle and how to defend themselves. And if they want to go on to the pro circuit, we totally encourage it. If they show us the passion, like I said before, and we'll teach them how to do it. We'll teach them how to be pro wrestlers, and we'll show them how to get on the independent circuit too. But in the meantime, Lucha Girls, it's all about having fun. You guys, the fans, get to be the booker, and I have some customers who are girls, and they just want to be a booker. They want to put the match together, and they want to feel the power of saying that this is what you're going to do, and you're going to fight this person. And it's just a way of doing it and having fun too.
And I noticed there's a couple of ladies that I'm familiar with. I've interviewed a couple of your Lucha Girls in the past. I've interviewed Jennifer Thomas, Lucky O'Shea, Thunder Kitty, um, just to name a few. What was it like having these ladies? Also, I hear you have a wrestler named Ariel X. who's from
Oh
that,
yeah.
who's from the fetish side, but she's shown she can wrestle. Um,
Oh, that's a tough. I mean, we've had some serious competitive grappling matches, and I like to think I can hang and bang with some of the best, but yeah, Ariel, she's a challenge that I love. And I go in there and look at the win just to see if I can make it through with her. But as far as the other girls you mentioned, Lucky O'Shea, Jennifer Thomas, those are my girls. I'll live and die for these girls. Me and Jen Thomas, we get in there, beat the shit out of each other, and still be friends. And we don't take anything personal that you would normally get with some of the girls. Lucky O'Shea and her beat the shit out of each other last night, and I'm a little sore walking around, but it's good to go. She's actually the first time I met her was about 10 years, or excuse me, about 4 years ago. She was part of our Mexico Brothers first class, and that's how I first met her. And then she's gone off and she's done her own thing, and she's a ballsy little girl, man. She goes out. If she wants it, she's gonna get it, and I have the utmost respect for everything that she does. But it's like a lot of and then we also use the parents knockout Nikki, Thunder Kitty, and I mean these are all girls who they demand respect and they demand to be treated with as respectful pro wrestling women. But and that's where a lot of girls don't understand. You could still do customs and still be a respected woman. A lot of people see, female wrestlers are just do customs. Ew, that's like porno, and it's like we're not getting penetrated. We're not going in there nude with any sexual thoughts. We're going in there just like we would in a pro match. So the girls that you mentioned, Jen Thomas, Thunder Kitty, Lucky O'Shea, Ariel Lex, I mean, girls where we like to have fun, we like to be sexy, be cute, be pretty, but just don't kick ass to see it. So it's Lucha Girls is just all about having fun and providing the customer with the best possible match that is their fantasy match. It's like bring up your fantasy and we'll fulfill it for you. Not sexually, just wrestling.
well put. For those who just tuning in, you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, and I'm John with West Coast Wrestler and in charge of the Lucha Girls, Jezabel Romo. And I want to bring this up, considering last week football season started, and your last name of sorts was a trending topic, even though that was referring to the Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo.
Oh God,
Yeah, I mean,
I've tried a few times if we're related, and as much as I would love to say yes, alas, no, we're not.
hey, I mean, I responded by saying you're my favorite Romo.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So,
I mean, I wish I had some time of money, but what the hell? Eventually, if God willing, I'll get it.
well, you're the more attractive looking Romo. Let's just put it that way.
Well, thank you. It's amazing what girdles and sugar will do.
And in addition to Lucha Girls, I hear you have a couple of ladies that's going to be available for requests and stuff. I hear you have Vanessa Harding and Amber O'Neil that's going to be available.
Vanessa Harding is actually down in this area now. Unfortunately, I believe she goes back tomorrow. And then October 25th through the 29th, we're going to have Amber O'Neil down here. So if anyone wants to book her, she's here. She's available to wrestle. And, she's an awesome chick. I met her before. And, I told her one of these times I'm going to, challenge you to one of those butt booty matches because, she has her favorite move where she does her little booty pop. So one of these days I'll get in the ring with her on that one.
All right. And I know you reach out to fans on, what type of matches they want to see, as long as it's wrestling related, of course. But what are some women wrestlers, or any wrestler for the matter, that you want to see on Lucha Girls that you haven't had a chance to work with yet?
Let's see. One girl who I would really love to wrestle, unfortunately, she's not doing customs anymore, and I totally respect that. She's only mentioned. She's a great friend, but one of these days I will get to with her, whether it's for a pro match, I will even, agree to do a pro wrestling match for that because I think she's an awesome chick, and I would love to challenge myself wrestling her. Another chick who I would probably really like to get, I know this may sound random and off the wall, would be Sunny, Tammy Smith.
Awesome choices. Awesome choices. So, why don't you go ahead and promote your links? Let people know how they can get in touch with you and Santino Brothers and Lucha Girls.
Okay, for Santino Brothers, basically reach me at Sylvia Santino, which is SYLA, and that's at SantinoBros.net. Yes, I do use my real name for that one. So that was the code name of the design. So go to SantinoBros.net or .com to get any of the latest information. Let's see, the other, for girls, also follow it. For wrestling school, sorry, I'm all over the place. For Santino Brothers, you can follow us on Twitter at Wrestling School. And Channel basically is a big constantly for that. And then for Lucha Girls, luchagirls.com. Follow us at Lucha Girls. You can also check out any of our clip stores. We're at sectiongirls.com and just look under Jezabel Romo. Or you can also go to clipshotel.com and just look for Lucha Girls. And we have all of our matches we try to update daily. And, any kind of contact us regarding anything, we always try to answer them within about 24 hours. And the email for that would be luchagirls@santinobros.net. I think I just covered all the bases.
You pretty much did. And to anyone out there that wants to be a pro wrestler, that wants to at least get trained, go check out Santino Brothers. If you want to book a match with Jezabel and her fellow Lucha Girls, you go to the Lucha Girls page and be on the lookout for Jezabel and many more work she has coming up. So outside of Santino Brothers and Lucha Girls, do you have any other wrestling shows that you're going to be a part of that you would like to promote?
Right now, gosh, I have no pro shows that we're doing. We're just seeing a lot of Lucha Girl matches coming up. And so that's the look for us right now is just the Lucha Girls and then Santino Bros. You never know what's going to happen. It comes up, everything comes up daily. So, but there is one show that I will push, and that's the Wrestling League, and that's ran by Los Luchas. It's going to be September 22nd out here in California. And that show is an awesome show. I don't put purses on the card right now, but these guys definitely, every time we put a show together, it's awesome. And you can also see Luchas here. They train on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
Now, when it comes to being a wrestler, what role do you like being the most? Do you like being a heel or the baby face?
Oh, darling, with hair and fake boobs, well, push-up problem, not surgically fake. I'm a heel all the way. To me, my motto is it's not cheating if you don't get caught, and just go out there and have to win by any means necessary. And I don't know if baby face have that mentality.
Who do you consider as influences in your wrestling career?
Influences for my wrestling career, I would have to say, first and foremost, Sherry Marshall. As a wrestler or as a manager, the woman just excelled. She commanded attention. Obviously, Dynamite D, he influences me a lot just in his confidence and just go out there and have fun. And believe it or not, I know, I don't mean to sound, like I've got a biased opinion, but Joey Chaos. He is basically, aside from being my husband, I've known him for, about 11 years now, and taking me under his wing, and, I've had to develop quite a thick skin, and it's hard to train with him sometimes, but he is definitely one of my great influences.
What would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler, that wants to get into the wrestling business? What would your advice be?
My advice, and it's basically what I give when I give orientation to any new student, is, you know what? Take what you can from wrestling. Have fun with it. Don't ever let it drag you down. It's a hard business. It takes a very thick skin. You're going to deal with a hell of a lot more rejection than you would in high school as a pimply teenager trying to go to prom. And the one big advice I would say is get a job. is because you know what, wrestling is like a heroin addiction, and you need something to pay for your addiction. And then get a real job, because you know what, you never know what's going to happen with wrestling, whether you're going to make it, whether God forbid you're not going to make it, whether you get injured. You never know. So my best advice to anybody who's wrestling, always have a backup plan.
All right, and let me ask you this: what do you consider as the highlight of your wrestling career?
Oh shit, I thought it was good. Um, let's see. I actually, you know what? The highlight of my wrestling career was Lucha Vapun this past February. And what it was I was with Terry Sanchez. I was introduced to Sucia Sanchez. And we were fighting the Voodoo King and Matt Classic. And at the end of the match, we got pulled on stage. It was the Valentine's show, and I met the Voodoo King, who was Joey Chaos. So that's definitely one of my highlights, is being married on a wrestling show. And in the business, I love when to come to the wrestling show and in front of all of our friends who, you know, wrestling. I love my blood family to death, but the wrestling comes first. So getting married in front of my family and friends is definitely one of my highlights.
Okay, I want to go back to the Lucha Girls for a little bit, and in the Lucha Girls, not only you take on female, but you take on male as well. How do you handle working against a male compared to working with a female?
I actually enjoy it more. You know, a female, you're worried about, you know, bruising them and hurting them. And, you know, females, not all of them, but, and, you know, a lot of the custom girls are, you know, they're models. And, you know, they were very afraid of getting a black eye or chipping a nail sometimes. When you get in there with a guy, it's like, I could go in there and, you know, I could just go have fun, whether it turns out to be a little harsh, you know, whether it's, you know, it's, I don't know. It's so much more exciting to get in with a guy. The trust aspect is there a little bit more for me, and I know that, you know, it's like I could become that much better of a match, whether I'm getting my ass kicked or whether I'm kicking someone's ass. But, you know, being in there with a girl is fun, but it kind of turns catfallish. When I'm in there with a guy, I know I'm going to get my ass kicked. I know it's going to hurt, you know, the next day when I wake up, but I love the fun. It's just, that's the ultimate rush for me.
There's a lot of things to do when being a professional wrestler. And with that said, what's your favorite part of being a wrestler? Is it traveling? Is it being in the locker room? A fan interaction? What's your favorite part of being a wrestler?
You know, it used to be the traveling, but, you know, as I've gotten a little older and, you know, we have this goal and it's not as easy to travel, I would say, honestly, the locker room camaraderie. I love the fact that, you know, it's like, these are my boys, and, you know, and to them, I'm just one of the gang. I'm not, you know, it's not like, oh, she's a rat, or she's a girl, or, oh, she's Chaos's wife. It's, you know, when I'm with my boys, it's, I know I could just be real. I could say what I want, I could feel what I want, and just the acceptance you get in from the fellow wrestlers. You know, it's unreal. I haven't felt that except when I was in the military. You know, that to me is the camaraderie and the memories that you make with these people.
Again, check out Santino Brothers, check out Lucha Girls, check out Jezabel Romo, repping the West Coast, and repping the Mamacitas out there as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I've been checking out your Lucha Girls website, and I like what I see, and you hold your own, and I'm happy to see that some former guests I've interviewed is on there as well. You know, Lucky O'Shea and Jennifer and Thunder Kitty and now you. Now I want to speak to you from a fan's standpoint. What is your take on the fate of professional wrestling as it is right now?
Well, I mean, it's obviously gone through a lot of changes. In the 90s, it had the Attitude Era. It seems like, you know, in this generation now, it's all about family friendly. And, you know, it's kind of like when you go to a lucha show, you still be family friendly, but still put on kind of attitude era type of show. So the fate I see for pro wrestling now is, I mean, I hate to say it, man called it. Unfortunately, it is sports entertainment now. It's kind of, like I said, I don't watch WWE, so I'm not too sure what the latest is going on there because the last two times I saw it, a 3 hour, less than 20 minutes was actual wrestling. The rest is, you saw him legit walking with a bush on his head. And, just it kind of, it's gotten a little ridiculous, I think. That's why I like the indie circuit a little better. I think the indie circuit's still a little bit more traditional, still a little bit more realism as for WWE and some of the, the higher ups. I mean, it's, I don't know. I just, like I said, it's much of a male soap opera entertaining for me. And, it's like they do with the storylines and with the wrestling. It's where sport used to be more about the wrestling.
I definitely can understand that, people love the Attitude Era, and I'm one of them. Huge fan of the Attitude Era. And it's when you look back in that time, I mean, the ratings were up, superstars were big, larger than life, and as far as today's professional wrestling, I mean, you still have your big stars, but like you said, it's like they focusing more on entertainment rather than wrestling. And I think once, I don't know if this will ever happen, but once the bigger powers that be, realize that hello, it's a wrestling show. That's what they do for a living. Put their bodies on the line.
Wrestling.
Once they realize that, then maybe, I mean, that we know that the Attitude Era will never be duplicated. It's just it's highly impossible. Now, before I let you go, I asked our guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Okay, so just my name and Wrestling Radio?
Yeah, Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, correct.
Okay. Hi, this is Jezabel Romo, and you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Job well done, Mamacita, and thank you so much for your time. Great talking to you, and best of success go to Santino Brothers and Lucha Girls and many more endeavors you have going on. And tell your fellow Lucha Girls, new and old, I will be interested in interviewing them if they are interested. I've interviewed some before, but those I've already mentioned, I will be interested in interviewing them again. You just let them know. And Joey, I'll be interested in interviewing him as well. And again, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. And if you're around the West Coast, come on in and you can join me in the ring anytime you want.
Absolutely. And you have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks for letting me call.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. That's my last guest of the evening, Jezabel Romo.